Hi, welcome to Salt City Knits. I'm Emily, and this is a podcast all about my making life. And today I'm going to have a special guest, so I'm excited to chat with you. I have so much news. So welcome back. It has been a couple of weeks, and I have been so busy with so many exciting things, and I'm really excited to talk to you about them. And today I'm also going to have a guest joining me for a little bit of this podcast for part of my news that I wanted to share. But first of all, you can find me at Salt City Knits on Instagram and Ravelry. And you can also find my patterns on Ravelry and at yarnbrary.com. So any of my designs that I talk about will be there. And I have one finished object to share. I have 3 finished objects to share. And I have 2 works in progress to share with you today. And then I have a lot of fun news. But let's start with a little bit of life update. So actually, I'm going to just say I'm going to have fun pattern news at the end, but that I'm going to talk about one of my big announcements right now with my life update. So first of all, we had such a great vacation, and I got to share that with all of you. And then since I have been back, I have been doing something really fun. I decided that I wanted to reopen my yarn business. And so I closed it in 2021 due to my health just being very bad at the time. And I have gotten so much better. And so that has made it possible for me to be able to reopen the Yarnbrary. And in addition to that, as you know, Richard lost his job back in December. And so I have been wanting to find a way to help contribute there. And it's funny because before I considered reopening my yarn business, I started looking at other jobs. And then I was like, why am I doing this? I can go back to dyeing yarn, which I really, really love. So I am really excited to be back. And I will share all my new colorways that I have in the shop now at the end of this video as well. But let's bring my guest in for today. So I brought Richard.
Hi.
You guys have all seen Richard before. As what were you, like the ninja greeter, like in the background, sneak in, greet everybody, and sneak back out?
And just wave.
Smile and wave.
Yeah.
So Richard has been working with me dyeing yarn, and that has been pretty fun.
Yeah, you're a pretty hardcore boss too. So. Slave driver. I've learned more about fiber and dye and water than I ever wanted to at this point.
It's been great
but
because
it's been fun. It has been fun.
It's been great for me because dyeing yarn is a really physical job. You are just constantly moving things, like you're, lugging water and there's a lot that's up and down and up and down. And he's been doing all the grunt work, which has been great for me.
That's perfect for me. I don't have any artistic bones in my body. So.
Although he was telling me this morning that he wants to try dyeing a colorway.
I'll try.
Yeah. I think it would be fun. We would see what he would come up with. So I wanted to bring Richard on and have you tell us, what have you learned? You said you've learned a lot about fiber and stuff. What have you learned?
Well, I never knew. I mean, I kind of heard you talking about the different bases of yarns and things like that. And since you've been started spinning, I've learned some different wording and about that, the different techniques and the type of fibers and the different, mixtures, if you will. Because I now know that you used to use the 75-25 sock.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was merino and nylon, I think.
Good.
So.
Yeah, you're learning. That's great.
Anyway, and having to search them out in your stash to try and find them to start soaking them and everything, that was a chore because you have many different kinds.
Yes,
I have no
I
idea
do.
what some of them are. Anyway, but that's been fun, and also I'm not sure I want to try hanking yet.
Twisting
the
skeins.
skeins. Oh. I can't imagine that.
It's funny because like when I twist skeins, it's entirely muscle memory. And so I only know how to do it one way. And so
I have a feeling that I would try and overdo it and ruin it. And we don't want to do that.
So I twist the skeins, so that's good.
But I have learned a lot about you call the dye striking. So there's different types of dyes that it looks like one color to me, but then there's 3 colors that may strike at different times. That's just fascinating to me.
There's a lot of chemistry involved in dyeing yarn.
And I like science, so that stuff's cool. All the citric acid and the mixes and heat and it's been interesting.
That's fun. It's been fun because like it's something that he's always been super supportive of me doing, but it's different when
I'm supportive if I don't have to do the work.
Well, that's not what I mean at all.
Right now, I'm doing a lot of this. So
no, I mean
I'm
that
being converted to
it's a difference between being supportive and being involved.
Right?
And so it's fun to have you involved. So I've been enjoying that.
That's been fun.
Yeah. Now, Richard did get a job. Well, most likely. So he'll probably be starting back to work in about 2 weeks. So I won't be able to keep him full time.
Not
in the yarn studio.
I'll be part-time.
Yeah. You'll be a part-time yarn brarian.
Yep.
That's good. So that's been fun. We've had a lot of fun working together. And it's just been really nice to connect that way. Anyway.
I will miss it actually. So.
Yeah. He said the other day, I don't want to go back to work. I want to be here and dye yarn with you. And I'm like, oh, isn't that sweet?
A full-time yarn dad would be fun, I think.
Yarn dad, yarn husband.
Well, yeah. I guess so.
Full-time yarn husband.
Yarn husband.
Awesome. Speaking of that, you want to hold some stuff for me?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, we're going to, let's, you know what, since Richard's here, let's show you our yarn colors that we have, our colorways.
Okay, so I just have to say, I did not do any of the dyeing. That's why they look so good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I want to show
Which one do you want?
These 4, the 4 that go together here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this.
Nope, not that one.
Not this one.
Those 3 over there. Yep, there you go. And then that one right there.
One. Okay.
Yes. Okay, good job.
See, I told you I didn't want colors.
So for those of you who may not know about the Yarn Brary, because you've joined me when I started doing Salt City Knits podcast, as opposed to when I used to podcast at Meanwhile at the Castle. I opened my business in 2018. And then, like I said, I had to close it in 2021 due to my health. But it is based on, all of the yarns are based on inspiration from your favorite stories. So mostly books, but occasionally from movies or even songs or artwork. But it's mostly books. And so I have 4 sock sets that are all based on Little House on the Prairie, that series. And so the first one is this one, and this one is Maple Sugar Party. Okay, here's the trick, Richard. When you're podcasting, no, we have to like cover up our faces, basically.
Especially mine.
Or else the camera will try and focus only on our faces. So this is Maple Sugar Party. And this is inspired by Little House in the Big Woods, when they get together at Grandpa's house for a big party to make their maple sugar and have a big dance. And so that is the first set. And so it's all pinks and golds with that gold mini skein. Oh, there we go. Coming in and out of focus. We're going to get better at this. All right, these, and like I said, these are all that way. So the next one is based on the Little House on the Prairie book. And this one is called Prairie Sky. And so it's inspired by, obviously, the sky with even some storm clouds in there and that prairie green grass. Okay, come on. There we go. Does not want to focus. There we go. So that's Prairie Sky. The next one is from On the Banks of Plum Creek. And this one is called Plum Creek. And so you've got these really soft green with, I'm calling them wildflower speckles. So multicolored speckles, and then this light plum or orchid colored matching mini skein. Come on. Here we go. Focus in. There we go. And then the next one is based on Farmer Boy, and it's called Wheat Harvest. I really love this one. Isn't that pretty? I love all those speckles. And that rich, deep purple coordinating mini. It's really struggling to focus. There we go. So those are our 4 Little House colorways. Here, you hold these. I'll hold these.
I feel like we're showing off our children.
Look at our children.
Aww.
We made these together. I also have a couple that are returning colorways. So this is one of my most popular colorways of all time from the Yarnberry, and it is called Eat Me, Drink Me. It's an Alice in Wonderland colorway. And when I posted online on Instagram that I was coming back, I asked for requests, and this one was my #1 most requested colorway. So I brought this one back, and this one is all aquamarine, purple, brilliant blues, and the occasional little green or even rusty colored speckles in there. So that one is Eat Me, Drink Me. And then I had not done this one in a mini set before, but I had this set in full skeins in my shop before. And this is my spring poetry collection. And it's just the perfect Eastery colors. So each of these colors, this is sonnet, haiku, ode, ballad, and limerick. And I think this one there's some bright orangey speckles in it, but I think they're hidden down here in the under the label more, but that is the mini set. So just so perfect for springtime. So those are the yarns that I brought for this shop update. And those yarns are available now. So you can go to yarnberry.com to find all of those colorways. So I'm going to talk about knitting now. Do you want to hang out, or are you? No.
I haven't gotten into the knitting part of it.
So we'll let Richard go.
I'm a yarn husband, not necessarily a knitter.
So we'll let Richard go, and I want to show you my projects.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here.
You too.
Well, that was fun to have him with me. So I'm going to show you my finished objects. So I finished my stripy socks. Oh, this one's like slipped down on the sock blocker. So this striping colorway is by Freckled Whimsy, and it's called I Can Only Imagine. And then this purple, which is sparkly, but of course not showing up, is by Candy Shop Yarns. And it was just a one-of-a-kind colorway. So those turned out really fun. And these I did a 60 stitches instead of my normal 64. And they fit around really good. The only problem I have is I didn't think about the fact that if it's stretching a little bit farther, this way, that means it'll be a tiny bit shorter this way. So they're a little bit too short in the foot for me. I could go back and change that, but honestly, this is going to be a perfect gift for somebody. So those are going to go into my stack of gift knits for a future gift for somebody. So I think those turned out really fun. Yeah, I really like them. And I just did an Afterthought heel. So I did my cuff, and then I just knit a whole tube, did my toe, and then I went back in and cut in and added the heel. And Afterthought heels are super easy. They're not anything that should intimidate you. There's a lot of tutorials about doing Afterthought heels. I will look for one and put a link in the description box below. But don't be afraid of it. If you haven't tried it, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's a great way, honestly, if you are knitting socks and you're like, I just want to knit a pair of socks, but I don't know who they're going to be for yet. You can often, I mean, 64 stitches is a fairly common sock size. You can just knit your 64 stitches. You can put even your cuff and your toe on. And then once you decide who it's going to be for, that can give you an idea of their size. And then you can put the heel in because it can be adjusted. You know, you could put it lower down in the sock if it's for somebody with a smaller foot and they'll just have a longer leg, or somebody with a larger foot size, it would go higher up and they'd have a little bit shorter leg, but longer in the foot. And it works out really, really great. And it's especially, I think, with striping yarn, it's even easier to do because as you're putting stitches on the needle before you cut, you are able to follow the stripes. Does that make sense? Like you can stay right in your row really easily because of the stripes. And so that can be a really fun way to do it. But if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. In fact, comment below and let me know if you've done Afterthought heels or if they have intimidated you. I always knit 5 plain rounds before I start the decreases in the heel, and that gives me just that little bit extra room here in that instep right there. And that makes them fit just great. So I don't like the fit for me of short row heels because I need that extra space there. And I just think they're too shallow of a heel, but I really do like an Afterthought heel. I mean, heel flap and gusset's always going to be my favorite fit. And this is my second. So those are really fun. The second finished object I have is a second Dixie Creek cowl. And I think I showed this either 1 or 2 episodes ago. And it was a couple of episodes ago. I had knit it out of my hand spun. And so now I have knit this one. And this was knit with Big Sky Yarn Co. And I will put the colorway name in the description box below. And I love that. Isn't that pretty? Here, let me lower this a little bit. There we go. You can see that. I love it. I love how it turned out. So this is using all of the same stitches as are used in my Dixie Creek shawl, but it's worsted weight and it only took 1 skein. Now, that being said, it took every bit of that 1 skein. So if your gauge is even a tiny bit looser, you would need a second skein. But look at that. Isn't that fun? I really love that. And I love the really pronounced picot border and how it looks. And it's just nice because it has that look of a shawl, but without the fussing with it or needing it to stay in place. It kind of just stays there and it's not too bulky at the back of your neck. You get this beautiful drape to it. So fun. So I will have a testing call for this also down below in the description box. So if you are interested in being a test knitter for the Dixie Creek cowl, please let me know. You should know that I will now only be taking testers that are on Instagram because it is the easiest way for me to stay in communication. I create an Instagram chat for all my test knitters, and then we are able to communicate that way. So we're gonna try that out for this one, and I'm gonna do that. It's too hard for me to try and run it through email where everything comes in, I don't know, individually. If I have it in my chat, then I can keep it all in one place. So that is one thing to consider. So if you are interested in being a test knitter, please go sign up in that form that is linked in the description box. And we will be running this test knit. It'll be a relatively quick one. So there will be details there, but It's only one skein of worsted weight yarn. So it's a pretty quick knit. I think I knit this one in 3 days. Yeah, I think it took me 3 days to do it. So anyway, fun, very fun. And thank you to Big Sky Yarn Company for that gorgeous colorway. Isn't that pretty? And then here's the back. Here's what the back looks like. Very fun. All right. I cannot wait to show you. I have been working on this design for months. And I finished it. This shawl, I knit it in What's Eating Gilbert Grape by Dandelion and Dogwood. And it is a half pie, so a half circle, all over lace shawl, and its name is Albion. The Albion Basin here in Utah is located in Little Cottonwood Canyon, and it is this beautiful valley with steep mountains coming up. And in this, it's completely snowed in all through the winter, but then in spring, as the snow melts, it gets completely covered in wildflowers. And I took the inspiration of those wildflowers, and you'll see here, you can see this flower here. And then as you look in this lace pattern, I'm hoping I can get it to show up. There's like these little, it's like little chains of flowers running all the way down, and then more scallops here. So that was my inspiration for this shawl, and it's pointed little border. Oh, I just really love it. So as I said, it's all over lace, and it has I-cord edges, and it's a large shawl. This is a 3 skein shawl. But oh my goodness, I absolutely love it so much. I think this would be an amazing wedding shawl too. So this shawl will be coming very soon. The pattern is not quite ready for testing, but it's in the works. But if you, in fact, you know what? I'm still gonna put the testing call out now. Just know that it won't start until March. This testing call will, this pattern will not be ready for testers until March. And I'm hoping to release this in May. So, oh, it's just so beautiful. I love it so much. And this color is just amazing. I don't know if you remember, but I already have a cardigan in this color as well. It's such a beautiful, like, orchid. Oh, it looks like I have some ends. I thought I trimmed all my ends, but I have 2 ends I just found. It's this beautiful orchid color, but it has some pink, and then it has some, it's got a lot of depth to it. Some pink and some purple, so like highlights and lowlights. And it's just so fun. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm excited to get photos done with that and to get the pattern all ready. It's so fun. Mountains and flowers, that's what this one's all about. That was a lot of fun to block it. It was definitely, lace shawls are always like this, but you know, even when you're designing something, like I have this vision in my mind of what it looks like, what it's going to look like. And as you're knitting it, you think, okay, I think it's showing up the way I want it to, but you're not going to know until you block it. That's when you can really tell. And when I blocked it out, I just kept like making my family members come in and look at it, look at it. It looks exactly how I want it. So I was just so excited. It was so fun. Oh, all right. I have one last work in progress. Oh, 2. I have 2 works in progress still to show you, or 2 works in progress to show you. So the first one I have in this adorable little bag. This bag is from the Knitted Soiree. She's on Etsy. Isn't that cute? It's cute patchwork heart on both sides. Adorable Valentines. So this was my Valentine's project, which I haven't finished, of course, but that's fine. We'll call it a February project. And I am using, now I'm all twisted. I am using another Dandelion and Dogwood colorway. This was actually the full skein that came with the 2022 Dandelion and Dogwood Advent, which was all based on roses. And so here is the yarn, and it's micro striping, which I think is really fun. So I didn't want to mess with those micro stripes. So I've decided that I am going to do Afterthought heels on this as well. And one of the yarns that also came with that Advent is this one. And you can't tell it here, but these are very sparkly, very sparkly. But of course it's not showing up, you know, on the camera because sparkles never ever do. But here is the main color. Here is the mini. Come on. There we go. And look at that cute little stitch marker my friend gave me. So fun. So I am just doing, this is going to be where I put my heel in. And then this is just for me counting my rows to know when I want to do my toe. Because I was still unsure about how that 60 stitch sock was going to fit me, I went back to 64 for this one. So still in the fine tuning process. I mean, my 64 count socks, they do fit. I'm just trying to, like, you know, tweak to get it exactly right. So anyway, that's turning out really fun. And that's my purse project. I just put this project bag in my purse. And so I mostly just knit on it when I'm out and about, not as much when I'm at home. Oh, and I just untied my little knot on my bag. So I will fix that in a moment. Oh, I was going to show you, this is my little bit of Dandelion and Dogwood, a little ball of leftovers from What's Eating Gilbert Grape. And this is their label. This is their Dogwood sock. It's a non-sparkle base. I like to buy their sparkle base a lot, but this is a non-sparkle base. Okay. My last work in progress to show you is a test knit, and I did show it to you in my vacation video that I am doing for Joji Locatelli. I wanted to show you my progress. I have just barely started striping in my 5th color. And I am worried that this is not going to be long enough. So this is what I have so far. Isn't that pretty? It is so extremely soft. It's definitely going to be kind of a nice oversized cardigan, which is what I'm going for. And this is the color that I'm starting to add, is this one. Isn't that pretty? And this colorway is called Elysian. So the 2 colors that I am striping right now are Luminaries. Oh, everything's falling. Hold on. There's a lot of yarn here in my lap. Okay. Luminaries and Elysian are the 2 colors I'm striping together right now. So this one I'm almost done with for the body. And then this is the one I am fading in. Oh, there it goes. Okay. And I'm holding these yarns together with Soiree Alpaca, the lace weight Soiree Silk blend. This pattern will be called Evanescence. And it's a drop shoulder cardigan, open front cardigan with this all over lace. I know this is going to block out bigger. I know that because of my swatches and experience. So I'm counting on that for length as well, but I'm a little nervous. My goal was to have a fairly long cardigan, and I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. So I don't know if I'm just going to take my last color and just keep working until I run out. I don't really want to mess with that blend that I've created, you know, the ratios that I've been creating through the body. You can see here, this is like the pink section, and then my fading section, my peach section, a fading section, the yellow section, and then a fading section right here, and then that kind of pastel. It's like all the pastels, but it's got a lot of blue in it, really pale blue section. And now I'm about to start fading in the lavender. So the lavender section will be about here, and then a little bit of fade, and then the blue. So, I mean, we're talking, I've still got, you know, that much to go. We'll just have to see. I will probably put it on hold and block it when I get to that point and just see if I'm happy with it. Try it on. But this is definitely not a take with you project. It's a huge bag of yarn. And I can only work on that for so long before the bulkier weight just gets, my hands just get tired. My hands just like lightweight yarns. And I know a lot of people are the opposite, that their hands are more relaxed when they use a thicker yarn, and then they tend to tighten up when they're using fine yarns. And for me, it's just the opposite. So I think we're all just different. But I haven't even touched my stripy cardigan, so I will get back to that eventually. But it's great that our sweaters don't expire, because I for sure won't finish these, at least for sure not both of them anyway, in time to really enjoy them this season. And that's okay, because then there's next season. So that is all I have with my projects. And so pattern news, I just wanted to update you that all of my patterns that are now on my website at yarnbrary.com. They're also on Etsy, and they're on Ravelry. The only difference is that my free patterns, which are my Scrappy Bias shawl and my Candy Floss socks, are only on Ravelry. I don't have any free patterns on my website or on Etsy. So if you're looking for those, you need to go to Ravelry. But all the rest of my patterns, including Mill Hollow, I had some questions about Mill Hollow. It just took me a little bit, since I was in the middle of redoing my website and getting it ready for Yarnbrary to reopen. It just took me a little bit to get Mill Hollow up, but it is available now. And Mill Hollow has been so well received by all of you, and I am so grateful for that. I've just been thrilled with seeing your projects and seeing you knitting multiples. That has been really fun, because that's how I feel about that pattern as well, is I just keep knitting them. I've knit 3 now. And in fact, I'm inserting here a photo of a Mill Hollow that I made for my sister Deborah for her birthday. And I altered it a little bit because I knit it with a fingering weight Surrey, 100% Surrey alpaca. And even though it says that it's fingering weight, it knits more like a sport, even light DK weight. And so I altered the pattern by just not increasing to like doing all the increases. I just kept increasing till I liked the width. Then I knit even until I was at 50% of my yarn used. And then at that point, I counted how many even repeats I had. And then I just mirrored it to the end. And it worked out really well. So that's another great thing about Mill Hollow, is you can totally customize it because it's just the same lace pattern running through the whole thing. So you can decide how wide you want it to be or how narrow. Do you want to just make it longer? It's really easy for you to alter it that way. And that's what I did for this one that I knit for Deborah for her birthday. So I think that is everything. Hey everybody, I was just editing this podcast when I realized I completely forgot to talk about our knit along. So just a quick plug that if you are knitting any of my patterns, any of my shawls or socks or anything, to make sure to post about it on Instagram and tag with Salt City Knits Cowl. And you'll be entered to win either that set of 3 skeins of Big Sky Yarn Co. It's a backcountry shawl kit, or the Cordsmith I-cord tool. And I talk more extensively and show those items in my last podcast, so you can definitely check that out there. But come and enter the knit along. Again, I really appreciate you spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed chatting with Richard and I. And if you are interested in Yarnberry yarns, you can check that out. And if you are interested in my patterns, you now know where to find them. And if you're interested in being a test knitter, you now know where to sign up. So that is all the news that I have for today. It feels like a lot. It feels like a lot all at once. But I am just really excited to be spending more time with yarn. How can we be sad about that, right? If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And also, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like that, please click the like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.